Are you tired of learning in an overcrowded, stuffy lecture hall filled with other students that you can barely tolerate? Do you find yourself dozing off at the halfway mark of a 3-hour lecture? Does the sound of your professor's voice send you into a catatonic state? If you answered yes to any or all of these questions, why not consider distance learning online? That's right, just in time for the next school year, distance learning online is the perfect solution for students with pesky timetables and awkward social skills. With distance learning online, you can learn from the comfort of your own home on your own time. Eliminate the costs involved with transportation to and from your institution of higher education and suffer no longer from the temporary paralysis associated with prolonged usage of lecture hall seating. But first, a brief history of distance learning. Distance learning essentially implies the ability for a student to participate in the learning process from remote locations. The concept can be traced as far back as the early 20th century. The development of an efficient and inexpensive postal service led to the creation of print-based correspondence courses for distance learning. Of course, with a model of many to few that reflected quantity over quality, these programs left much to be desired. Thanks to recent technological innovations, the concept of distance learning has since grown over time to include such methods as videotaped and streaming lectures, interactive real-time communication through conferencing software, virtual learning spaces such as EduSim and Second Life, and course management software such as Blackboard, Desire to Learn, Moodle, A-Tutor, and for students at the University of Western Ontario, WebCT. WebCT was developed by the University of British Columbia to be a flexible e-learning environment. In 2005, WebCT was acquired by Blackboard Incorporated in a transaction of $180 million. Together, WebCT and Blackboard serve over 3,700 academic clients. In theory, WebCT fulfills many of the requirements for a successful online learning experience: cost-effectiveness, customizability, interactivity, speed, and an all-in-one environment in which students can access readings, web links, and other media, plan using an online calendar, participate in chat and discussions, and email. Students can also access their grades and manage their own files. Of course, there have been quite a few issues with WebCT's accessibility and ease of use, resulting in less than stellar reviews from students and faculty alike. WebCT is now in the process of being phased out, but not just yet. We're still using it. So now it's time to count down the top 5 ways to survive in a WebCT distance course. Coming in at number 5, manage your time. Many students assume that because there aren't any designated lecture hours in a distance course, they can get away with not devoting the same amount of reading and writing time that they would to a regular course. Not so. Professors often seem to make up for this by including more required and optional reading material and varied activities and exercises such as online quizzes and discussion postings. Discussion postings in particular usually account for a significant portion of your grade. Make sure you do them. Professors of distance courses dedicate a considerable amount of time to designing the online learning experience and expect you to do the same. Class time is really any time. There are no weekends on WebCT. At number 4, download all course material well in advance. The course syllabus, readings, and assignment descriptions are generally made available on the first day of class, and that's when you should plan to download them. Technology is not infallible, and WebCT in particular is known for its clunky user interface, overall bad design, and plain old incompatibility with certain web browsers. For this reason, you should ensure that your computer is equipped with the necessary hardware and software well in advance of taking a distance course. WebCT also frequently undergoes maintenance and is unavailable at certain times in the early morning. But you'd never work on an assignment at 4 a.m., right? Number 3, have friends in the class. Although you're not necessarily dealing with people face-to-face in a distance course, that doesn't mean that you can't still make friends. Thanks to information communication technologies such as instant messengers and social networking sites, it's possible to keep in touch and even collaborate for the purposes of your distance course. Don't suffer alone. Moving on at number 2, you're being watched. Professors can track when and how often you log in, and what documents you download and upload. Keep this in mind when making any claims about your participation in the course. What did Foucault say about the external gaze? And the #1 way to survive in a WebCT distance course? Be prepared to resort to old-fashioned ways of communication, email, telephone, and even the face-to-face encounter. When all else fails, remember, the learning experience may be electronic, but your professor certainly isn't. Nothing can ever replace real-time human interaction if there is ever a problem. Now that we've told you what distance learning online is all about, it's time to hear from some of our users who speak to us today thanks to new media technologies.
I tried online learning and I lost 10 pounds wasting all my time fighting with WebCT's router compatibility problems instead of eating. Thanks, online learning. You really helped me get that high-paying job out of university.
New media technologies allow for a constant level of surveillance, so my profs always know what I'm up to. Thanks, distance learning.
I'm a vampire, but with distance learning online, I could have real night classes. Thanks, distance learning online.
With distance learning online, I never have to leave my home, which is great, because I hate people. Thanks, distance learning online.
Distance learning online thanks you, because like all new media technologies, without the proper involvement and dedication of the users, distance learning technologies would not exist. And as a special token of appreciation, only available in this exclusive YouTube offer, sign up for Distance Learning Online today, and we'll send you a free paper copy of the course syllabus. But that's not all. Act by Saturday at 9 a.m., and we'll knock off one of the discussion postings. That's right, the experience of Distance Learning Online, a paper copy of the syllabus, and only 9 discussion postings, all for the cost of one half course. If you have access to the latest internet browser, can self-schedule and learn independently, are looking for an alternative to the traditional learning environment, and most importantly, are motivated to participate in the shaping of new media, Distance Learning Online just might be for you. Doubt it? Well, if you learned anything from this video, you just proved that distance learning really can work.